Dallas has just been on a tear. I believe we can attribute that to Jason Robertson. Also, Jake Ottinger, who's really stepped in.
Yeah, so we can compare a rookie QB to a toddler. Hayward's absence for this game will be significant, and I wouldn't be surprised if this game turns into a blowout as of late.
The Golden Knights just can't pull it. I really think the Avalanche are determined this year.
They made so many moves and grabbed so many guys that they have to win a championship or at least make the finals. They were on our championship and bust.
The same self, the only year he won an MVP was the year he cheated, which really should put something against that MVP. But
Yeah, and as a Cowboys fan, I have learned how dangerously good Aaron Rodgers has been with he can just thread a pass.
Hello, I am Ruby Ackerman, and you are listening to Outsider's Opinion with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by the man that has been a fan of Tua for a while, Austin.
Yeah, I've been high on him, on his importance and what he means to the Dolphins. But this will be a question throughout the entirety of the video, Kevin, that eventually we'll come to a solution on is this because of how difficult it is to run the Mike McDaniel offense? Or is it just how good Tua is? Or is it a combination of both? What's your kind of thoughts on that? Do you think it's just because the offense is really hard to run and it's hard for a new QB to come in? Or is Tua just that good that he deserves a lot more praise than we're giving him?
I would say it's a combination of both, but Tua is a good quarterback. He is, I think, he wasn't below 20. Like, he was in my teens, I believe.
I can double check that. Well, you keep going. I'll double check
Yeah.
it because I remember you sent it to me.
Yeah, he to me is teens. He's still a good quarterback. He is a good quarterback in this league. He's not just a bad quarterback. I would say there are better quarterbacks, but you can't just take a quarterback and put it in this Mike McDaniel system. Like some people believe, how I have said about other quarterbacks, you can just put someone else in there. This is really tough. And I would say the point that goes against of the Dolphin system, Skylar Thompson was in that system for a while, as he has been with them. Now with Tyler Huntley, it could be different. He was just picked up. He's still learning the offense, but Skylar Thompson has been with that team before. So to me, that would kind of go, it's not the Miami system. It's just how good Tua is and how built that team was around Tua of fitting to his strengths. And it's tough to rebuild that and to fix that on the fly, but it is needed when you want to compete. So that would primarily, it's Tua is a good quarterback. Is he a great top 5 quarterback? I don't think so. Top 10, not sure about that. But the razor thin line for a good quarterback is so thin that it's tough. Like, he could easily slip in there, but there is a tough line for top 10. But he is a guy that has demonstrated he can be in this league. He is a good quarterback. He should be playing. And I think that what the Dolphins are struggling with is an example of why he's proven in this league, I would say.
Yeah, so I ended up having Tua in our QB rankings at 10. You had him at 18. So it was one of the players that we differed on pretty large. I do consider him a top 10 QB, and I think this kind of proves it. I mean, without him, he is it's just really, really, really bad. I don't think I can fully grasp how bad this offense goes. They've scored 1 touchdown in 2 games, and that was a Tyler Huntley running touchdown. So Devon Achane, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, a lot of these good players that are healthy, no touchdowns for them. And it's just making the team's offense look atrocious. Do you think this is on Mike McDaniel at all? Or I understand why some people are saying that this is like showing that Mike McDaniel is not the greatest coach in the world or not a great coach. But you don't plan for the Tua injury. And people are saying you should, but I never think you should really plan for an injury with a QB. His offense is difficult to run. That's known. And I don't think you necessarily need to assume that your player is going to be hurt, even if it is a Tua player that we know can get injured.
Yeah, I do agree it has to be on Mike McDaniel. He shouldn't be prepared for this. To me, he should he should be adjusting quickly. He should. I know you talk about this offense is difficult to run. He needs to dumb down that offense for the quarterback and play to his strengths. To me, that is something Sean Payton did such a great job of. You can't really see it in Denver, but when I think of playing to a quarterback and having them succeed, it is Teddy Bridgewater with the Saints when Drew Brees went down. They had some solid weapons. I think it was when Michael Thomas was really playing at a high level, and Sean Payton was able to get Teddy Bridgewater in and do well. It's something that you can see with Doug Peterson. Nick Foles and that incredible run. Nick Foles did play well, but you had to help them adjust. The argument I can see against that is those are veteran quarterbacks. I'm thinking of young guys. Oh, here's a great example. A guy that I have hated on, Zach Taylor. He did a great job with Brandon Browning, a guy that we weren't really familiar with. He was able to put him in that offense that had some weapons equal to wide receivers of Waddle and Hill, of T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. That is an example of a coach. Okay, I have these weapons. How can I make Brandon Browning play well and get the ball to my playmakers?
The Bengals definitely did a great job last year doing that. It wasn't Brandon Browning, by the way. It was Jake Browning.
Oh, it was Jake Browning? Dang. Okay, thank you for that. That's my bad.
No problem. Browning did play well. He had a winning record as a QB. He went 4-3. Had an over 70% completion percentage, 12 touchdowns, 7 picks. He was definitely very, very good. He also had 3 rushing touchdowns, which is pretty impressive. But I'll ask you this: do you think that the Dolphins can be fixed before Tua returns, or do you think it's just going to be wait and see if Tua can return, and that will be more determinant on everything?
It's looking pretty tough for have them fixed. I expressed some belief that they could fix it and do something because I put a lot of faith in Mike McDaniel. And I will say, I want to address, I had a Tua to 18. 18 to me is still a viable quarterback. I think I had it listed as average. That is a good quarterback in the NFL. It's just the type of pressure that a top 10 quarterback gets, and the higher a quarterback goes, that's what they're expected to do. But Tua is a good quarterback. He is meant in this league. And to me, if I'm the Dolphins, it's looking like they may have to make a trade for a quarterback. I would say a veteran quarterback, as I try to think of some. They were a team, I don't know what it looks like with Carolina and Andy Dalton. It looks like he's the starter, but they're a team where they could have traded for Andy Dalton if they want to stay competitive for however long Tua is, because it doesn't seem that Mike McDaniel has figured out meeting the quarterbacks where they're at right now.
Well, I'll ask you another question. So Tua, according to Adam Schefter today, he said that Tua is symptom-free. Tua is guaranteed to miss the next 2 games because he's been on IR. If the Dolphins lose these next 2 games, is it worth it to bring Tua back now, or should he just rest for the rest of the season, come back next year 100%, and play it then? Or is it better to bring him back this season to try to salvage this season so it's not another lost one?
That is a really good question. And I almost think that's something that this was the same talking point 2 years ago with Tua when he got his first concussion, and then he got another concussion a few weeks later, or was it a week later? Do you remember that?
I think it was a week later, yeah. But he still played a good bit of games. He played 13 games that season.
Yeah, to me, the question I remember is, should they hold him out a week? And then he got another concussion. Me, for the Dolphins, is sort of a player health instead of he would immediately help the offense, but I would wait 2 weeks, see what he's feeling like, and I would rather take it slow. And why rush it?
Concussions usually don't take over a month to be fixed. And right now, again, if Adam Schefter is reporting accurately, it says that he's symptom free and he's feeling fine. It's really going to be, do you think that they should bring him back this season if they are 1-5?
I would opt to no. I know concussions are not a month-long thing, but Tua's is a very unique case where he's had
Well,
so
I
many
guess they have a
concussions.
bye week. That's right. So they only have one game. He'll miss one more game, but that's against the Patriots, who you would think they would have a chance of beating. But if
Mhm.
they go 1-4, does he return week 7? I don't know. I know you're against it. It's up to Tua if I'm the team. I think Tua decides. I'm not going to be pushing him to play, but if he wants to play, I'm not going to stop him. Especially if there's nothing else you can do. If he is symptom free and the doctors say he's okay, well then he's okay if he wants to play. If he decides that he wants to take some time off longer to make sure he's 100%, then sure, I'm fine with that. But if it's coming down to what I think, it's up to Tua. If Tua wants to play, I'll let him play. I'm not gonna. You can't get better than I feel fine, right? It's not like a broken leg or something, right? You just have to trust the player. There's no way to actually test that my head hurts or whatever, right? So I've had a concussion before, and again, it's you just take tests to prove your cognitive ability is 100%, and then they ask, do you have headaches? Are you does light hurt your eyes? Does all that stuff? And as long as you're clearing those tests, but it's all opinion based. Like I'm fine. Okay, well then I'm fine with him playing if he says he's fine.
Yeah, it is. Tua is the majority of the decision. If I'm the coach and Mike McDaniel, I'd just be advising on do what's best for you in the long term, not just in term of this season. Think about after football. And I would just because my only concern is just putting him back in that environment again of where he's going to be hit.
Yeah,
And
but
it may
again,
not be
it's the
to the head.
whole. I
Yeah.
mean, I talked about Sidney Crosby before. You can fix it. It's something that you can get ahead of if you. Again, the one he got recently wasn't a QB play. You've seen it,
Mhm.
right? He's
Yeah, yeah.
trying to truck a linebacker. Like there is just not intelligent decisions being made sometimes that are the reason why he's been hurt. Yes, some of them you can avoid. That one is avoidable. That one's avoidable. And that's again where I look at Crosby. Like he passes the puck more before getting hit, and when he gets hit, he's much better at bracing said hit and avoiding head contact with either the other player, or the boards, the ice, or anything else. There's ways to avoid it and get better to where you're not having any or maybe one more in your entire career, right? So it's if Tua wants to come back, I'm not going to stop him. It's his choice, and I think that he's the one who's hurt. So if he says that he's fine, okay, you can play. But it's just I would tell him, hey, make the right decision, be intelligent. But if you want to play, I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah. I agree with that. And it's going to be tough, and we'll see what the Dolphins do. To me, it really is. It is showing how important it is to that offense and just how difficult it is to find a quarterback to get just, I want to say, average offense level in this league.
Yeah, I mean, back-to-back games where the Dolphins do not have a 100-yard passer. Last game, Tyler Huntley threw for 96. You can't win a game like that unless you're the Broncos with Bo Nix, who had 60. But in most cases, you can't win a game like that. And we'll have to see who the Dolphins decide to start this next week, decide to trade for someone, decide to do a lot of other things. But two is definitely important, and we'll see what happens if or when he returns.
Yeah, and that is all we have for today. Thank you for listening, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.